To discuss what buyers are currently looking for, I'm joined now in the studio by Sarah Dowling, property news editor from realestate.com.au. Sarah, welcome to the show. So let's first of all start talking about property portals and how buyers can use property portals, and in particular, how can first homeowners get the most out of a property portal like realestate.com.au?
Well, we know that for most people, and particularly first home buyers, purchasing a home is the largest financial decision you'll make. And so property portals have really evolved from just being a source of listings. We're really trying to empower people with information and links to the people that they really need to be getting in touch with to purchase a home. So at realestate.com.au, we've got a range of guides pretty much on every property topic you can think about. We've got a prop track business, which is our market analytics business, which is crunching trends, looking at buyer and seller activity every single day, and we're putting out a range of articles, guides based on those trends, and it's at a national level, state level, right down to a granular suburb level. So really empowering yourself through information is available through the portals, but then also getting in touch with the people that you need to be speaking to. So agents are obviously a really important touch point when you're looking to buy a home, and you can do that really easily through the listings just with the click of a button. We know that from our surveys that we do, finance is one of the main hurdles that first home buyers say that they face when they're purchasing a home, and through our broker network of more than 1,000 mortgage choice brokers, they're able to get in touch with someone with the click of a button in their local area.
Yeah, finance is such a critical issue for buyers, and in particular for first home buyers. So tell us a little bit more about what sorts of information first home buyers should be looking for on property portals to help their search.
So based on search activity, we can see that there's a real interest from first home buyers in particular around the finance and the grants that are available to them. So in terms of finance, how much can they borrow, all of those sorts of sources of information. But then on the help side, what government grants and incentives are they eligible for, what's available in their state, what's the stamp duty cap, those sorts of information. That sort of information is highly sought after from first home buyers, and I think that really talks to the environment we're in at the moment, where property prices are rising so rapidly, particularly in Queensland. And so you really need to be working front to back, not back to front. There's no point starting a search and finding your dream home to know that you cannot afford it in that area or that particular property. You really need to be working out what it is you can afford, where you want to live, and if the two don't match up, what's the compromise? Do you need to look for something smaller, or do you need to be looking further out?
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, and what we know is that state and federal governments are constantly revamping the type of support and grants that are available, so I think keeping up with that information is critically important. Sarah, I want to talk a little bit about the role of real estate agents. We know that the majority of properties are being sold by a real estate agent. The vendor is represented by real estate professionals. So talk to us about how buyers can engage with real estate agents and your advice, because it's an area that we get a lot of questions about.
Yeah, so through realestate.com.au, we do try and make that as simple as possible. There's obviously the features that I spoke about before, where you look through the listings and you can get in touch with an agent directly through the click of a button. We've also got other features such as the My Property dashboard, and it allows property owners to track their home, but it also allows buyers looking at particular homes, particular areas, to save properties and track properties that they're interested in. And so what that opens up is comparable sales in the area. It opens up previously sold properties, other listings that are similar, suggested properties, so people can see options that maybe they hadn't thought of. And what it also does is it allows people to see agents in their area. You can compare agents, you can get in touch with agents, and if you know who you're looking for, you can search for them directly.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think keeping up with a really fast evolving market is incredibly important, and don't be afraid to call real real estate agents who are specialists in a particular suburb. I want to talk a little bit about the trends that you're seeing. We know that when we're buying property, we often have a wish list. What sorts of trends are we seeing emerge? What are people searching for and what's on their wish list?
So if we look at some of the really highly desirable in-demand suburbs across the country, and not only for first home buyers, but just in general, we're still seeing a continuation of the trend that we saw during COVID towards those outer ring suburbs with more space, larger homes, not necessarily affordable, but some affordable suburbs are falling in within that range. So the most in demand suburb of 2023 was Chandler in Brisbane, which is a very expensive suburb. It's got beautiful acreages, it's got homes with tennis courts and pools and all the amenities that buyers love to dream about. But you're also seeing the trend towards those outer ring suburbs which fall below the capital city median, that their respective capital city. And I think what that speaks to is the fact that we're seeing overall supply of listings falling, particularly let's talk about Brisbane, the supply of new listings coming onto the market below the $750,000 threshold is less than it was a year ago. And that's obviously a product of property prices increasing. But I think it also talks to the fact that people are having to look further out if they want a home. And that $750,000 threshold is quite important because when you consider for first home buyers that the first home grant, the home guarantee scheme,
yes,
is a cap of $700,000 in Brisbane, Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast. It means that if someone wants a house, they're having to look further out.
Yeah, I think that's really important. That's where, again, that research is so imperative to understand what those caps are and what the eligibility looks like. And Sarah, we know that also we have seen as a result of the pandemic that people are looking for more space, as you've mentioned. But what kind of property attributes are people looking for? Because we're seeing some interesting things, aren't we, in terms of people looking for garages, for example, and other things. What's on that wish list that we're seeing?
Yeah, so some really interesting trends, and I think playing into the affordability angle, we've seen a really big increase in people looking for properties with granny flat potential, dual living potential. Then there's also the dream home fixtures, people wanting, garage, they wanting home office. Some of these keywords really do speak to the fact that people put a lot of value in the space in this, post-pandemic world. And even though people are going back into the city to work, with the hybrid working arrangements, you can live further out and still have that work-life balance. So people are prioritising, space and still being within a relative proximity to work.
Yeah, fascinating. We'd love to know more about what you're looking for and what your wish looks like. So thanks for joining us today, Sarah, and sharing those really valuable insights with us.
Thanks for having me.